All right, welcome back to another edition of the Horseman Pro Football Talk podcast. This is the NFC West preview. I'm Brad.
And I'm Hefe.
And we are the Horsemen. And today we're breaking down the NFC West, the divisions, teams, possessions, and players. Be sure to follow us on your favorite social media platform. Find out more at horsemansports.com. You ready, Hefe?
Yep, let's get to it, man.
All right, cool. Let's go. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I want to discuss the state of quarterbacks in NFC West. And for this one, I want to start at the bottom. And I think everybody knows where we're going to start in this one when we talk about the NFC West. It's going to be the Seahawks. And that could be it's Geno Smith or Drew Lock. Up until the Seahawks' first preseason game, it looked like or sounded like Geno Smith was winning that quarterback battle. It now seems after the first preseason game that Drew Lock, a lot of people were hype about how he looked in that offense. Really, I think both of these quarterbacks are probably going to play for some point, and I don't expect it to be good. You know, I would honestly expect that at some point we'll see Jacob Eason because he's still on the roster. This is going to be one of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion, you know, in 8 years, okay? This is what Geno and Drew Lock have done in their careers. In 8 years, Geno Smith, 58.8% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. Drew Lock, in 3 years, 59.3% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. When you talk about quarterbacks, these two probably shouldn't be a starter for any team in the league, and this is what the Seahawks have to work with. So for me, they had to be at the bottom here.
So the only thing, I agree with everything you said. What I'm curious about is why isn't there a better quarterback in Seattle? That's a rhetorical question. We'll just move on from there. All right, who you got at number 3?
All right, so number 3 for me is going to be Trey Lance. And honestly, the only reason I have him here is because he hasn't done anything, but I expect him to. He has a great offense around him between the offensive line, the running backs, the receivers. Like Trey Lance is set up about as well as you would need a young quarterback to be set up. And he has Kyle Shanahan as a coach. I mean, you can't ask for much more. He has all the physical tools. He can run, he can throw, he has a good deep ball. So, you know, he's really only number 3 because this division has some pretty good quarterbacks. Again, he hasn't done anything, but I would expect that after a short time, everybody's going to be talking about how Trey Lance could be the best quarterback in this division.
I really can't argue with that either. So let's go to number 2.
All right, number 2 here could be a pretty hot debate here. I'm going to put Kyler Murray at number 2. And the reason I'm going to do that is because when I was looking at his numbers, you know, he's getting better year after year in most areas in the passing game. But when you look at it, he's comparable to Kirk Cousins, like good numbers, but not, you know, elite numbers. And when it comes down to it, like quarterbacks are going to have to sit in the pocket and make plays when it matters most. And the fact that that's the area of the game that he's still working on worries me a bit. The other thing that worries me is like at this point, it's kind of a meme, but the fact that they had to put in an addendum in his contract at all, and that he had to watch 4 hours, just 4 hours of independent film study per game week was pretty alarming. That's never been done before. You know, they took it out because they said it was going to be a distraction. And I don't care what the Cardinals and Kyler say. The fact that it had to be there means that somebody was worried about it. And if somebody close to Kyler's worried about it, then that's going to worry me. So for me, you know, it just feels like Kyler could be the best quarterback in the league, but if he's not putting in the work, then he won't get there. And I don't even think he's the best quarterback in his division right now.
Yeah. So that's a great point. I didn't know about the addendum. And this is a comparison to guys like Manning and Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And you know these guys are putting in the time. They're putting in extra time. They're always there. We've heard so many stories about that. And then I agree with you. It's alarming that someone not only trying to make him watch game film, they were going to hold him financially accountable for it. That says a whole lot, in my opinion. Great point. And so that puts you, Matty Stafford, at number 1, huh?
Yep. Matthew Stafford came in, proved what we had all been talking about. If Matt Stafford gets a team around him, he might actually be able to win something. He might be considered a top 10 quarterback in the league. I mean, he proved it. He won a Super Bowl. He balled out because of Matthew Stafford and his own hard work. Cooper Kupp was able to be the Triple Crown winner for receivers. And so Matthew Stafford, when you look at it, he had the most yards in a season in 2021 since he had Calvin Johnson. He had 40 or almost 4,900 Last year, his completion percentage went up by 3%. He had damn near 1,000 more yards in 2021 than 2022. And when you're comparing year to year, 2020 to 2021, he had 15 more touchdowns, 7 more interceptions, but he was throwing the ball a lot. He's going to have to rein that in, you would expect, in his second season in that system. And with those players, he'll be able to drop that number of interceptions. But his QBR also went up. So he has nothing left to prove at this point. I feel like he's done everything. He's had the stats forever. Stat Padford is his nickname, and now he's a Super Bowl champion. So until one of the quarterbacks, Trey Lance, can come up and dethrone him, he's going to be the king of this division.
Okay. All right. Well said.